Fletcher. Another question on the in an interview with the Los Angeles Times on April 21st, you said that you told the Associated Press that the American government has created weather tampering techniques so that the New World Order will be able to starve millions of Americans and to control the rest. Would you explain what you were trying to say?
Well, what I was trying to say is exactly what I said. There is weather control techniques. We have a complete package on that, which I did not bring, but I certainly will see to it that it is brought in for the record. Number one, the entire patents on the equipment. Number two, Senator Claiborne Pell's complete statement and story of his own, that not only does it exist, but that we even utilize it as far back as the Vietnam War. You might want to touch base with Senator Pell.
I just want to repeat before I turn to
So yes, but we do have all that information.
You're saying the government has created weather tampering techniques so that the, quote, New World Order will be able to starve millions of Americans.
Worldwide.
Millions of Americans, and to control the rest.
Yes, sir, and that's my belief. As bizarre as that sounds, if somebody had told me that that equipment even existed 10 years ago, I would have thought they were nuts, sir. And at this point in time, we have all the documents to prove it. And if you think that 85 tornadoes takes place in the middle of our growing area by simultaneous accident, I'm sorry. With the equipment that's already set up internationally, and as bizarre as that is, it is proven and documented. We will supply you with those documents. As bizarre as that is, I would say that weather wars, and this is quoting actually Senator Claiborne Pell himself, that they are the greatest weapon ever created in the world, and that's the Senator's own statement. So yes, I do stand on that.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, guys, welcome in, welcome back. Hopefully it is working. I've been working on this broadcaster, trying to get it fixed, and now it looks all freaked out. What in the world? Yeah, they've been tampering with our stuff. So anyway, I think I got it working a little better. Hopefully the audio is coming in okay. We got some new tools here on the worldview map. We can do some animations. We can do some measurements and different overlays on this map. So this is going to come in real handy when we're watching for the weather warfare. So let me go ahead and pause that. Let's jump into a few articles, and then we'll jump into the weather warfare watch. So we've had a Navy doomsday plane that was built to withstand nuclear attack was grounded after a single bird strike. Damn the luck. So the Navy's doomsday plane, designed to withstand even a nuclear attack, how's it designed to do that? I'd like to know. Suffered millions of dollars in damages after a single bird as it practiced a landing maneuver earlier this month at Maryland's Air Station. So the 6B Mercury was supposed to only touch down momentarily before immediately taking off again from the River Naval Air Station, but a bird was struck into one of the plane's 4 engines while it attempted a touch and go. So that was a $2 million bird strike. But right now the craft is grounded for, it don't say. Anyway, so that sucker's been grounded. You know, they're prepping for something. I mean, when you look at all the stuff that is going on, all the predictive programming, there's been some pretty good videos about the 11.3 that's come out about, you know, just what they're looking at as far as up in Washington or Oregon, wherever that was. We'll get into that another night. But now we just reported on how Japan imported the Ebola and some various other strains of viruses. Well, mysterious newly discovered virus defies evolution, current scientific understanding. Guess who is doing this? Scientists in Japan have discovered a new type of virus which could redefine our understanding of viruses and how they propagate and spread all while sifting through pig feces. Man, what the heck? Unlike most other organisms which fall under the definition of life, viruses have no cells. They are merely a particle of genetic material within a protein shield that is capable of infecting a cell before replicating. While sifting through the pig crap, as you do, researchers from Tokyo University come across a virus which defied everything we thought we knew about the infectious agents. So the virus we found in the study has no structural proteins about the strain. So this means the recumbent virus cannot make a viral particle. This particular defective variant of the virus the team uncovered lacked even the limited protein container found in other viruses. Instead, it merely had flanking genes in its structure. This means that the virus would not be able to invade a host on its own, which begs the question, how on earth does it survive? So they suggest that the virus and any potential copycats it might have out there in the natural world might exploit other viruses to do the heavy lifting by transporting it around and helping it to infect host targets. So wow, man. So these guys, they just washed away tons of radioactive material out in the ocean. They're getting ready to pump nuclear waste into the ocean, and they have all these deadly viruses, and now they got another thing. So what is going on out here? And then when you take a look at the map, man, it looks like they're getting blasted from tropical storm Niguru, I don't know how to pronounce that, it didn't look, and Typhoon Baloy is coming up right after that one. So 1-2 punch, probably to get rid of the rest of the bags of nuclear waste out there. All right, here we go. Modern life is killing our children. Cancer rate in young people up 40% in 16 years. So the modern life is killing children, with the number of youngsters diagnosed with cancer rising 40% in the past 16 years because of air pollution, pesticides, poor diets, and radiation. So you could take the air pollution and call that the chemtrails. You got the Monsanto, you got the GMO Frankenfood, and then you got the Fukushima. New analysis. Oh yeah, not to mention the Wi-Fi radiation, the X-rad radiation, the cell phone towers, the microwave desk sticks all over the place. So the new analysis of the government statistics by researchers at the charity Children with Cancer UK found that there are now 1,300 more cancer cases per year compared with 1998. Which we all know this. I mean, we warn people all the time. The thing is, you got to figure out how to detox from this stuff and try to stay healthy while they are depopulating. We've had more die-offs out here in Florida. Dolphins are dying on northern Gulf of Mexico coast. Earlier this week, a sea turtle washed up, and they're calling it from the red tide. So NOAA said dolphins are dying, but they don't know why. More than 300 bottlenose dolphins had washed up ashore on the northern coast of the Gulf of Mexico since February. How about the Navy out there doing sonic weapons? Because usually these deaths are either contributed to oil spills or the Navy conducting experiments or something of that nature. Then we have, you know, I've played the video on this before, but here's the actual article. This came out back in 2016. Hydro Tasmania asked to explain cloud seeding catchment day before the flooding. So down here in Tasmania, before the worst flood in history, they were out there cloud seeding the storm. And I put all these links in the description if you want to read this. So another power company cloud seeding these storms, just like PG&E. We showed a couple nights ago how they are in the business of weather modification. You know, they do gas, they do power, they do weather modification. So all these power companies do a lot more than what people think. And here's a mainstream news source talking about it. You know, I probably won't get into this article. Let me go ahead and get out of that one. Then you got 5G, Skynet. I don't really want to go into all this. This is older, the laser power. Now you got all these articles coming out about these asteroids, asteroid horde, spot space rock out the size, dangerous Earth orbit. And this is all just predictive programming. I mean, if we had an asteroid coming at us, they wouldn't tell you. So all these articles that are coming out like this, you know, they're not as close as they say or nothing, you know, like that. But if you look at all the programming on the stuff that is the potential false flag or some kind of major event going on the 3rd of November, and then you look at stuff like this, it's like they're trying to program you to think, hey man, there might be an asteroid strike, and then they pull off some crazy crap and it'll get blamed on something other than what it is. But just tons of these articles are coming out, and then when you actually read into it, you know, these supposed, you know, NASA tracks hazardous Earth skimming asteroid, but when you get down in here, these things are not that close. They're way out there, like 16 times the distance of the moon. I mean, that's like a long ways away. But just more programming. And I didn't get to read into that, so we'll skip that. We're probably going to jump right into the weather stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at the maps. All right, so we got more tornadoes, just like we knew this tornado would just keep on going right on over to the east. So it looks like we've had several tornado warnings. We've had tons of damage in Texas, and I still haven't seen no information on that one tornado that went up into Oklahoma that the mainstream wasn't talking about, but we've seen it on the radar last night. So let me see where we are at right here. So right this minute, no tornado warnings, and we can also go verify that here. Let's get the radar up so we can see if we have anything popping off during the show. All right, so let's go ahead and check the watches and warnings. So we just, whoop, it disappeared on me. All right, New Orleans. Let's check this thing out. So at 11, okay, so this was from earlier today. So at 11:30 Central Time. All right, so we're all nothing right now. So no tornadoes right this minute. So really just a few thunderstorms. Let's go ahead and get this down here and take a look at something. We'll get this running. We're going to jump into the worldview map. Man, it's crazy. The ship tracks are back in full force off the coast of California. So we got a major weather change coming, or a major fire day. Something is getting ready to happen. Yeah, this channel here, if you're looking for good news, I don't really have any good news. The good news is it's Monday is almost over. Look at them beaming. They're beaming the storms. Maybe they're trying to slow them down. Anyway, okay, we'll let that load. Let me stop that. Let's go to the worldview map. Look at this thing. Look at this storm. I mean, that's a giant land cyclone if I've ever seen one. But the thing to look at right now is these. They are concentrating in a certain area. What are we looking at? We're looking at the bunker fuel. We're looking at the ship tracks, and it's like they have a target zone right here, and all the ships are headed that way. So we're almost straight out. We're a little south of San Francisco. Whatever this target zone is. Now, we couldn't find any ship tracks yesterday. Let's go back to yesterday. So now we're seeing a couple. So all the weather modification ships were out in the Atlantic for the last 4 or 5 days. Nothing out here in the Pacific. And then just out of nowhere, wham, we get this. This is going to lead to a major weather pattern change or some kind of major fire or something. This is the first sign of something's getting ready to change. When you see this many ships out here, something's up. And they're definitely targeting this area. In fact, let me just look at the Earth null and see if there's like a low pressure there or anything, any reason why they would be here. You know, you always got the high pressure, so they're right in the high pressure. And we got 3 low pressures, you know, all stuck together up there. We can see our typhoons here. Look at the size of that pressure going across. And there's some energy still down here in the Gulf of Mexico we'll be watching. Let's check the winds. If I can get this on here. Whoops, wrong thing. Yeah, there was a fire in Palisades. They got it out now. I think it burned 400 acres or 40 acres. I can't remember. You know, you'll know when it's going to all go down. I think that was actually like a little grass fire or something. Hell, it could have started underneath the power pole. Let's check the temperatures. So we still have a rapid heating event down in the Antarctic. And our polar vortex is really starting to come together up in the north. See, this thing's getting ready to shred apart. And it's all going to be up here. And we really have to watch the weather warfare then, because they're going to have the super cold Arctic air to work with. Now look, they're getting ready to get hit pretty heavy with moisture up in the northwest. Let me just take this up a couple days here. So this stuff is going to blow through pretty quick. So this should be our day of break without any chemtrails anywhere over the United States. So will it happen? We'll see. So I'm just trying to see if I can spot anything with the jet stream or anything like that these bunker fuel ships could be doing. Make sure we're on now. We're looking at the jet stream winds. Going to go up a day at a time and document this. So if something extraordinary happens in the next day or two from the bunker fuel, we're going to know that this is the actual patterns. This is what it should probably go down like. So we just got to get that document, and then we can go back and look. If something funky happens with the jet stream, we know what the pattern should be versus, you know, what are they doing? All right, just looking at the wave heights. Let's see what kind of waves we got going on with the storm by Guam. You know, they've been engineering these typhoons from Guam for a long, long time. 40-foot waves, roughly 38, 41.1. Let's track that up, see if it's going to head up to Japan. Look at that, a little bigger waves. Man, the island's going to get rocked again. Whatever them islands are, man, they're just getting hit time after time. Looks like they may be trying to steer it away. So 49-foot waves. Look at this big wave anomaly. That's the leftovers for the storm before the other typhoon. So wave alert for the Aleutian Island chain. 34-foot waves, 37 here on the 25th. So here in a couple days. All right, let's go ahead. Might as well just look at everything while we're here. So look at the air quality over here in Southern California. So that's probably, let me back this up a few hours, see if that popped off from the fire or where did it come from. You know, you got to kind of wonder with all the seismic activity and, you know, them talking about the fault lines and the bulging. You know, we got to be watching these gases coming up out of the ground, either from the fires or from volcanic. I mean, this whole West Coast is actually a volcanic field. Got fires going on all over BC right now. They've been going on for a long time, some new fires. So it looks like just, you know, we got it going everywhere out here. This is the carbon monoxide at the surface. So you can see it's all emanating just right there in Southern California. Now, if you go back to, was it 2015? Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at my video on that. This whole West Coast just blew up with the methane, where people were getting sick. NASA tried to deny it, but the Canadian satellite picked it up too, and that was pretty big event. All right, so we're looking at the carbon dioxide. And then we'll take a quick look at the sulfur. See, like these long straight lines, these are the ship tracks, the shipping lanes. You know, the ships are putting off tons of sulfur dioxide, and that's why we're seeing all these straight lines across the planet. It's because they travel these routes so much, and they're putting so much particulates up into the sky. It's leaving the traces, the tracks. These are like chemtrails, but from the ocean. And this is why these storms are more electric now. It's because there's tons of metallic particles up into the air. And this is just contributing to the factor. We got another wave of Sahara dust headed our way. Let's fast forward that a little bit. Look at that long straight line. That's pretty crazy. What's it hitting? All right, it's just not going very fast. We can check the other map. Let's check the PM 2.5s of particulate matter. So it's starting to look a little better. Pretty much all over the United States, we're looking much better right now for the particulate. When we get to the PM10s, it's from the fires and volcanic and fracking and everything else. You know, at least we're not looking like India and China or the desert. All right, so here's our sulfate extinction. We can pretty much follow this and find where the aerosols are being deployed. So we're pretty well done with that. Let's jump back to the worldview map. So here is our bunker fuel operations. Popped up out of nowhere in one day. We just kind of look around here. I didn't get to load this very good, so you guys will just have to kind of sit back and look and check it out. Now, I'm not seeing a chemtrail in the sky. Look, there's the smoke right from the fire right there. Let's see. See if this will load. Are you kidding me? That thing's not loaded yet. So there was a puff of smoke right there. Or is that chemtrails? We only have 2 layers to choose from. So not all the layers are loaded yet. Let me back this out and see where the other layer is. Oh, wow. What the heck is going on? Why is it way over there? So these satellites are way off. Like way off. So we only had the first 2 passes. Alright, so let's just kind of go up and check out. So we definitely have bunker fuel operations. And then here's some aerosols being deployed right over Reading. So this could be a target zone for the fires. I can't tell if that's a black chemtrail or the shadow of this chemtrail. Look at eating away the cloud. And then you got the microwave frequencies definitely being hit with the radars, the scatter radars, the lidars, everything else. So we have aerosols being deployed off the coast of Oregon. Bunch of frequencies. And it's a whiteout over Washington. So let me see if that is aerosols or snow or what is that? Yeah, I can't really tell what that is, so it's just complete whiteout up here. They're definitely seeding the front side of this in Montana. Montana is getting blasted right now with the big, thick, fat liners. Some spraying operations in Utah, Wyoming. But nothing super blatant out here. What is this thing? Is this a fire? Wow, look at the name, Santa Rosa. I can't believe that one layer is not loaded yet. So we either have a fire over here or some kind of water generating facility. So I don't know what's here, but it looks like there could be a power plant doing some water generation because it's emanating at a one spot. That really sucks. We only have 2 layers. So we're going to miss a lot of data. We'll just kind of check back over on that tomorrow. So they're still seeding the front side of this monstrosity of a storm. I mean, look at the scope of this thing. It goes all the way up from the Hudson Bay, actually up above the Hudson Bay, all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. Just kind of sift through all this stuff. Yeah, definitely aerosols being deployed. Turning into a mess real quick. We got a chemtrailers coming out of Havana. Yeah, they're doing some kind of dumps out here. Look at the colors of that crap. Yeah, definitely microwaves yesterday. They were showing up all over the map. So there's a seeding operation out here off the coast of Florida. And then they're doing this segmented spraying all over West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio. I mean, they're getting waxed right now in Ohio, right over Columbus. Get it to load up a little better. Look at this tic-tac-toe. Look at these thick liners. So you have off and on spraying. I mean, these are just massive liners here, super thick. You know, they want to call this water vapor turning into cirrus clouds. This is something more than water vapor. I mean, this is just crazy right there. See what it started out like. So this is a definite heavy duty dump right here. So you could see, you know, there were regular chemtrails going through here, and then a fleet of C-130s had to come through here and just, man, they really stoked this up. You could see this is a two-part mix. It's just not coming in real clear, but man, these are massive. So huge spraying operation over Ohio, big time. Goes all the way up into Ottawa. Ontario's getting hammered. And if they're spraying out here, it'll be out the coast. Don't see nothing popping out too much. Let's go ahead and go take a look at just around there where I can spot this stuff pretty far out. What do we got here? What's this anomaly? Oh, island out there. Okay. So we got some kind of weather modification going on over Nigeria. We've been seeing a lot of weather warfare going on over in Egypt, all the way across the desert, and a lot of weird stuff going on right here, but it looks like it's calmed down for now. You got heavy sprays over Morocco, over the Mediterranean Sea, some of the big fat twisting liners. Wow, I can't believe that layer is not loaded. So yeah, you can see back when they first started this spraying operation, just how quickly they can turn a blue sky into a white haze, into a blanket. They're blocking the solar radiation coming in from the sun. They're blocking it. What kind of experiment is this? So that is something weird there. Look at that. It just come out of nothing. So they definitely hit that with something. Hey, thanks out there, Sherry. All right, yeah, I haven't looked at email or nothing, so I'll try to dig into the emails. I've been working on my computer so hard, just trying to get it to run. It's actually running pretty good right now, so hopefully it'll stay that way. Look at Ireland's getting waxed. Yeah, complete aerosols being deployed. Look at that nasty stuff. Man-made clouds over Ireland. Going up into the UK. Major spraying. See, they're getting all the leftovers from all these storms. So just mass spraying operation over the UK. A little bit there off the west side of Poland there. Still tons of fires going on over in Russia. Oh, we got to go look where they were doing the crazy experiments over here. Now what's really weird is a big earthquake hit. Let me back this up a couple days so you can see what I'm talking about. They were doing some crazy electromagnetic weather technology out here. I'm going to take it back to where you can see it. And then a big earthquake hit right in this area, exactly where they were doing this. Look at this. So they're using some frequencies, doing a weather experiment. The Global Trading LLC, that's who was doing it. And just look at this. And then they were cloud seeding all up through the sea right here. But this is in no way normal. This is not a dust storm. This is complete weather control. It's an experiment. So this was an experiment that led to an earthquake. And now you got a little weather. So where all that cloud seeding was, now you're starting to get a weather system over Iran. Aerosols being deployed in Afghanistan. So it's weather control all over the place. Every country's doing it. It's all part of the New World Order eugenics program. So here's the next. This is actually yesterday's. Today's isn't loaded, so that's yesterday's. And we want to go down here and look at New Zealand. They've been getting hammered with frequencies and aerosols day after day. So I always want to go down here and look, because there's always some kind of freaky clouds or cloud formations down here from all the weather experiments. Yesterday there was heavy aerosols in the southern part of Australia. Look, it's all cleared out. Let me just check, see if there's any kind of bunker fuel. Maybe I'm not seeing it. So I'm not really seeing any bunker fuel operations over here. Let me go check the Atlantic. Yeah, they're just all gone. They're just all gone. They were here big time a few days ago. And it's amazing that they can go from one ocean to the other. See, like back here on the 17th, this is where they all were, right here. Bunch of them over here. So, you know, they're not out here every day. I mean, before the Paradise Fires, they were out there for like a week straight. And that's why I say we got to watch that stuff. All right, that's probably good on this. Like I said, we got these new tools here that we can do some animation and stuff with the worldview map. So this is going to be pretty nice. But the only thing, it'll only let you download like 40 frames at a time. But you got all kinds of setups here you can do, and then you can actually measure. So a lot of times they're not giving me the size of the hurricanes because they're too big. They don't want to tell you the damn thing's 500 miles wide. So sometimes they leave that information out, and this will be a good way to measure. Let me click on this, check out the new layers. See what kind of new tools we have. Hey, thanks out there, Logic. Yep, they're definitely gonna do some blackouts probably starting Wednesday. And if you watch the 60-day forecast, you could see the wind event is going to be going on for a while. So we're not out of the woods at all. So I don't know what I just clicked. I'm trying to figure out what it's doing here. So let me pause that. And I clicked that, so you can get to. All right, yeah, I'll mess with this later so I can learn it. But anyway, yeah, some new tools for us to bust these guys into the weather engineering. I wonder how you change the satellites. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, that's going to be nice. We can measure, man. See, Dorian was almost 500 miles wide. So, wow, that's pretty cool, man. We got a way to measure it. I don't know how to get out of it. Okay. You haven't did a lot of this here anyway. Well, let me go ahead and get out of this. Let me back that out. If you go to the worldview map, links down in the bottom, it'll give you some options right off the bat, and this is where you guys can explore, like the fire, like the Paradise Fire. Let's go back and take a look at this, and you can see the Paradise Fire was a totally different beast. Look, you can see the aerosols being deployed out here off the coast. And the ship tracks were, a few days before. But I mean, look at this. There was a blast wave with this. I mean, this was something way more than just a normal fire. This was a weapon, and I think we proved it pretty well. Had 2 ignition points. But yeah, that's a good way to learn. It'll kind of give you a little teaching lesson on how to do it. Yeah, this was a massive fire, man. We caught it on the radars, caught it a projectile shooting up miles up into the air. Caught several things on the different satellites and all that stuff. All right, so I want to get out of that. And let's just go check, make sure there is no tornado warnings. This thing isn't updating. So we got a severe thunderstorm warning out of Mobile, Alabama, and that's about it. Let's see if it updates. So we have the searchlight mode still beaming the storm. What is going on? So is there no storms going right now? Let's check this one. Now, I know I had the watches and warnings on here. Where'd they go? Let's go ahead and put it back on, man. They changed it. So yeah, most of the, there's a pretty good strong cell right there in Florida. Look, was tornadoes all day, all morning, through the night. So right now, there's no severe storms right now. That's good. If they build up at night, something's going on. I mean, these storms are intensifying at dark. I mean, that shouldn't even be possible. Look, we're still flooding all throughout the Midwest. Go ahead and take them off. Yeah, Texas definitely got creamed. We seen it. We were covering it live and seeing the next red. You could see the hell cores. You could see the rotation. And there was one even stronger that went over the border, but they didn't even talk about it. I mean, I don't know if it was just a rural area, but there was no information on it. Yeah, see that thing there? That is some kind of water generation, or there was an explosion or a fire or something. There in New Mexico, you could see it on the Cirrus level. Let me enhance this a little bit. What I want to do is I'm going to zoom in there on Ohio, where that mega spraying operation was. where they did the super heavy death dumps over here. I think maybe this one might get it. But anyway, we'll definitely jump on the fire and wind stuff tomorrow. You know, we already gave the warnings out Sunday, but like if you're out in the West Coast, you know crap is always on the verge of hitting the fan. So yeah, I'm just trying to document. Look at that spraying operation down a little farther south. That one's pretty thick too. Yeah, this really isn't quite big enough here. Let me go down. You know what? I want to go look at the ship tracks. We may have to go to the Ghost 17. Because these guys are out here in full force. Look at them. You can see them in the white. Blatant. So check them out. Whoa, that thing just did a weird speed up. Look at all the ships out there. You got chemtrails in the dark blue. But when this thing gets into the nighttime mode, the ship tracks stand out like crazy. So there they are. There's all the ship tracks. Wow, what was that little hyper loop there? Wow, they're even showing up in the day. So that's a mess. And I'm telling you, every time we see these ship tracks like this, something major is going to happen. Either a weather pattern change, or fires, or a hurricane, or something. It happens every single time, so heads up. You know, it's hard to know if it's something here off the coast or if it's something inland. You know, this stuff has to drift up. We're going to see with the chemtrails here on the backside. You know, look, this is, there's supposed to be just a giant high pressure there. Well, here's a low pressure. Or this is the giant high pressure. They're trying to shift this high pressure for some reason. So something big is about to happen. I mean, it could take up to a week. So anyway, we're going to keep our eyes on this every single night. Look at that speed up. What the heck is that about? Let's look at this on the RAM slider. Yeah, we reported on them saying they were going to do it for a decade. See, you got to know that PG&E, man, they're like more powerful than the government. You know, they got a... Wow, this is just a monster operation. Holy crap. Look, it goes all the way down to the Bajas, all the way up to Northern California. Insane. Let's put this on about every 30 minutes. Man, I can't even hardly get it all into one picture because it's so big. Oh yeah, you always see all kinds of demon stuff in the clouds. I mean, the clouds don't lie. They tell you what's going on. They tell you if it's being manipulated. They tell you who it's by. So man, that is just massive. Let me stop this so I can click a frame. So I got one dark frame. So yeah, this makes it stand out like crazy. Look at the dark lines. That's the chemtrails. So you got these dark lines up here. That's the chemtrails. There's a ship track. These are not fishing vessels. These are not cargo ships. These guys are out here getting ready to modify the weather. Anyway, guys, we're going to call this a show. Much love out there. We'll jump on there. Hopefully I'm done messing with the computer. I can spend some more time getting ready tomorrow night. Anyway, guys, much love. We're going to play a song called Rise. I'll jump over on the D Live, give away the treasure chest, and I'll jump back in here on chat for a little bit. Thanks to everybody that shares this information out. Much love, and we will see you tomorrow, God willing. So let's see if this works.